KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
Another life claimed on Guam's roads just days apart. The tragedy is leaving many asking what's happening and what more can be done to keep people safe on our streets. I'm Julian Hernandez with the report.
Guam Animals in Need is asking the community for help after their Jigo animal shelter was broken into. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the burglary caught on camera.
And parents at a local high school sound off following a recent riot. The violence motivated after a student accused another of stealing a vape.
Half a day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for starting your week here with us.
Well, Des, the 28th life is claimed on Guam's roads this year. The tragedy happening the day after many celebrated the Thanksgiving Day holiday.
Guam police continue to investigate the crash. The victim only identified as a 62-year-old woman. Tonight, KUAM's Julian Hernandez speaks with the victim's loved ones as they mourn her sudden passing.
A 62-year-old woman killed in a serious car crash Friday night had just come from Bible study.
She's a Christian. She's one of the most positive, encouraging women that I've met. She's never said any bad thing to anyone that I know of, not even to me. Every time she sees us, she lets us know that she loves us. She lets us know she loves Jesus. She always had positive things. She was someone that you could look up to, ask advice from. She was very funny, and so this was kind of a shock for everybody.
Family and friends now in mourning, not ready to release her name as authorities investigate how the crash occurred. Guam police say the woman was driving this white van with 5 children on board. She was exiting Chalan La Chance when this blue Nissan 350Z headed north collided into her van. The impact caused the Nissan to roll over.
Everyone just needs to bro, pump the brakes, man, slow down. You know what the speed limit is.
Julius Emma Ono says the woman was his aunt.
Lives are changed. She's not here anymore. Bro, she was a good ass human being.
A mother and grandmother who will be missed.
She was a great human being. I actually saw her the Wednesday before, right before Thanksgiving. So I'm glad that I was able to hug her at least one last time, and she was able to see me in church. That's all that mattered to me. So I know she's in heaven. She's not in pain anymore. She's not suffering. And yeah, bro, if you guys are out there, pump the brakes, man. Life is short. If you gotta, like I said, if you gotta go somewhere and you gotta get there, at least get there in one piece.
An important message from a crash victim's nephew. It's one that Guam police agree the public needs to take seriously. While the cause of the crash is ongoing, GPD Sergeant Paul Tapao says impaired driving, speed, and distracted driving are among the key factors that caused many of the island's serious crashes.
It is Christmas. Let's give the gift of life. And of course, put the devices down. Pay attention to what's going on.
He also reminds the community of the consequences.
It may not just be a citation. It can be a life of a loved one or somebody else.
Meantime, the 5 children inside the van, along with the driver of the Nissan sedan, were taken to local hospitals to be treated for their injuries. Their conditions have not yet been made public. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victim and her family.
Yes, our condolences.
And in other news, a man accused of sexually molesting a teenage girl known to him more than 3 years ago is captured by police. 41-year-old Ian Sean Meno is charged with first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct. Court documents state Meno allegedly molested the child back on May 2020. The alleged victim was able to kick him off of her and ran to tell a relative. Meno allegedly fled the area. Now, authorities were able to find him last Friday while investigating a separate incident. Prosecutors note he faces a maximum of 15 years in prison if convicted.
A man is arrested in a Thanksgiving Day burglary reported in Anigua. 37-year-old Scanty Lewis charged with burglary, attempted burglary, 2 counts of attempted theft of property, criminal mischief, criminal trespass, and resisting arrest. Court documents state Lewis was caught on video surveillance, allegedly grabbing a crowbar from the shelf at the victim's residence and breaking into a storage room there where he took off with a gas tank. Lewis also allegedly using that crowbar to try to open a sliding door at the home before taking off. Responding officers were able to spot him in the area, though. Lewis allegedly led them on a brief foot chase before taking him into custody. He's since been released on a $5,000 bond.
A weekend burglary into the Jigo animal shelter caught on camera. The thief definitely not a cat burglar, as he left traces of the break-in behind.
Guam Animals in Need, now the one in need of the community's assistance. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
Security footage showing the moment a burglar breaks an office window at the Jigo animal shelter. A masked thief caught on camera scoping out the facility and taking a shelf in an attempt to get inside the building. The break-in happening around midnight Saturday. Guam Animals in Need Administrative Assistant Leanna Lewis says police arrived soon after.
He had gotten into our locked rooms, so like the quarantine building, the cat house, the door behind me, and he did attempt to enter the office, so he did break a glass window. By the time the police officers and G-Force were on the scene, the guy was already gone.
He made off with mostly personal items: a case of Mr. Brown coffee, a bag of candy, batteries, a grooming clipper, and a camouflage jacket. Security footage showing the thief wearing the stolen jacket. Today, the broken window has already been replaced, but a trace of the break-in left behind. This red bolt cutter the thief apparently found on the property and used to cut the lock and fencing to the cat house.
One of our staff did have to use some zip ties to try and close up the openings, just in case the cats get loose. So when we arrived on scene, he did unplug some cameras. He did cut through these. He tried to climb through the windows. We could see like signs that he tried to put like a shelf to try and climb up, but luckily, we had boarded up those windows, so he wasn't able to get in.
A silver lining, thankfully, all the cats and dogs at the animal shelter are safe and accounted for. Now, Gain is asking the community for assistance to cover the cost of the damages.
I want to thank everybody for, your shared frustration, the kind words and donations. But if you're interested in donating, you can send it through PayPal on donations@guamanimals.org, or you could donate directly through our website, or here in person at the shelter.
Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Vapes and violence. KUAM has learned the riot investigation at a local high school now has education officials looking into how students got a cannabis-infused vape onto the Teton campus.
The investigation is ongoing. Tonight, we hear from Teton High School parents and guardians amid the riot that apparently broke out over that stolen vape.
Teton High parents and guardians sounding off on a riot fueled by an apparent stolen vape pen.
I was pretty shocked and pretty concerned for the safety of my child that's going here.
Keone Blas is among others stunned about what recently occurred at his child's school.
Every day I'm worried. Every day. Never know what's going to happen. It can happen on any given day.
It was less than 2 weeks ago, a riot broke out at Teton High School. The Guam Department of Education asserts that violence has no place on school grounds.
This isn't a game. So in some parts of our society, there are folks that are so stressed, so distressed, that they're going to react in a harsh, negative way. We don't want to get into that kind of behavior, and it starts with how we think about how we interact with each other.
The brawl of 15 to 20 students leading to short-term suspensions for all involved, and to the arrest of 2 18-year-old students, Mikeson Lipwe and Sapporo Timothy. Former Teton student Ava Cruz says news of school riots happening at the home of the Titans is nothing new. She's saddened by the violence continuing while her brother is now a student.
I mean, honestly, so I went to Tidzin about 3-4 years ago, so I'm not surprised that riots have happened here before, but it's disappointing to see it still happening.
And in the wake of the arrest of Lipwe and Timothy, court documents exposing a device not allowed on campuses either, vapes. That vape in question, allegedly a cannabis-infused pen at the center of the conflict. Both teens allegedly resorting to violence in defense of their friend, who was accused by another student of stealing that contraband.
Smoking on campus is not recommended, and I think it should be taken out from the school itself.
I think more should be done about the security, about the vapes getting into school.
I think that everyone just needs to do better and not having their kids have vapes in general, but especially if the kids are sneaky enough to bring it to school. I think that, this should be a safe place for everyone. And I think that vaping, especially when you're underage, is totally dangerous.
Her concern backed up by alarming data. John Perez, graduate student at the University of Guam, sharing insight on the dangerous trend. Ahead of Wednesday's Great Vape Debate he's hosting alongside his fellow graduating candidates of UOG's Masters of Public Administration program.
We found out that it was reported that 1 in 3 middle school and high school students reportedly have tried vaping. And in our schools on Guam, vaping has been one of the top violations reported by the Department of Education.
Meantime, GDOE continues their investigation. Both Sapporo and Lipwe remain under house arrest after being released on a $5,000 bond.
Well, inflation has soared over the past few years, and one of the groups that has felt it most has been the more than 5,600 Government of Guam retirees. Many are living on a fixed income, and while they typically receive a yearly cost of living increase, the amount is not tied to any in-depth analysis. The first bill discussed during the November legislative session today calls for establishing a cost of living task force. Bill sponsor Senator Telo Taitagui says their ever-weakening buying power must be addressed once and for all.
Don't disrespect what they have done for Guam by refusing to even discuss annual COLA adjustments that would actually help them. Everywhere else in our nation has a formula. Our people deserve our best efforts to be established right here at home. Bill 2-37 is not just another of those useless, idealistic task forces or committees that fall to the wayside. There is experts who provided input during the roundtable all agree that a true COLA system is needed, and they are willing to participate and contribute towards such a system.
The Taitagui bill was moved to the third reading file without further deliberation. It will be voted on later in session. Meantime, the governor continues her public outreach in support of a bill to authorize her to purchase Crown land in Barrigado, Manilao for a new medical complex.
Adaloop Communications Director Crystal Palco San Augustine says Leongaro's presentation will be tailored specifically to medical professionals.
We have about 24 medical professionals RSVP'd for tonight. Again, the invitation remains open. We're working to live stream the event, and for more information, people can visit governor.guam.gov. Now that we're talking directly to our medical professionals, I think governor is really just going to be a lot of open ears and ready to answer questions from our medical professionals. Again, a lot of that information has already been made public. We're learning a lot too about what things people want to know, they want to know more about, what's going to be included in a facility, how long will it be, when can we start. A lot of the progress is stalled at this point with the Guam Memorial Hospital and constructing a new hospitals because we need Bill 184.
At this point, it all comes down to the location for a new hospital. The governor's Bill 184 would authorize the purchase of Crown land in Barrigado, Manilao for a medical complex. But there's also Bill 185 by Senator Chris Barnett, which would require that a new GMH be built in Tamuning. Both of those bills have undergone lengthy public hearings. And while neither are on this week's session agenda, supporters of either measure could still make a motion to add them.
await word from the Guam legislature. If they have additional questions, they know where to call. We're prepared to go down and provide additional information. We have not received word yet about Bill 184 or Bill 185 making it to session floor at this time. We anxiously await word.
Once again, the governor's outreach to medical professionals is scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Hilton Hotel. The presentation will also be live streamed.
Adalupa said one of its main concerns for locating a new medical complex in Veragata, Manilao is that it would be more accessible to Southern residents.
We got to think long-term vision, and it's about putting our people first. More of our Southern residents have come out. You've heard that during the public hearings, the Southern residents coming out and saying they want access to services too. Just a quick look at down south, they have very limited access to healthcare services.
In response, Senator Frank Blas Jr. is proposing that the governor use American Rescue Plan money to establish a 24-hour urgent care facility in the South. He sent a letter to her saying, quote, many people who testified in favor of building a medical facility in Manilao instead of Tamuning cited the long travel time and distance from southern villages to the Guam Memorial Hospital as major issues. He calls for retrofitting and fully staffing the Southern Regional Community Health Center to provide immediate emergency medical services for Southern residents. His proposal would also include procuring 2 new ambulances specifically dedicated for use in the South. Congresswoman Jim Moylan is seeking more ways to find money for major typhoon repairs. He's introduced a new bill, the Typhoon Mawar Reconstruction Act. It would give the Federal Emergency Management Administration the authority to tap into non-traditional accounts and funding sources to provide for repairs at GMH and Guam's power system.
In a news release, Moylan said these are equally critical needs for both the island community as well as for the various military installations to be mission ready. He met with both FEMA and Defense Department officials on creative ways to fund major storm damage at the hospital, electrical grid, and communications. The measure has been referred to 3 House committees: Transportation and Infrastructure, Natural Resources, and Judiciary.
Are you ready to take part in Giving Tuesday?
I am.
It's a global movement of kindness set for tomorrow.
That's right. So let's come together to generate kindness and generosity. Now, the KUAM Care Force got a list from some of you all ready to participate, but we still want to know what else you all have planned to give back. Remember, any act, big or small, counts as we create a ripple effect in this global day of giving. You can join the celebration and let us know what will you do this Giving Tuesday. Just email us your plans to givingtuesday@kuam.com.
And be on the lookout tomorrow. The KUAM Care Force goes around the island to showcase the kindness being spread throughout our community. Time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Peacock is streaming your NBC local station now.
A tip sending police.
Get your local news and weather.
Oh, definitely one of a kind.
At home or on the go.
Mitigation process.
Plus, your favorite NBC shows. From morning till night, live.
Welcome to Today. So good to have you with us.
You make a great team, huh?
And so much more.
Welcome aboard.
That was awesome.
All in one place. Streaming now on Peacock.
Hi, folks. Robert Quigley here, America's Independent, Washington, D.C. We're on the road to the White House. Today, we're going to talk about Biden's health. Biden has dementia. Team America needs real leadership, not party puppets. His health only gets much worse as time goes by. Biden falls up steps. His usurpers hold his hand to walk across stages. The baby ladder is needed to reach Air Force One through the luggage department. He took $50 million in bribes with his heroin and cocaine-addicted son, who did these drugs in the White House. Biden's too old, too corrupt, and been in D.C. far too long, 44 years. The extreme left, people who are unwelcome in many houses, control the government. Go to robertquigleyforpresident.com, find the donor box, donate what you can. Team America needs your change. Join our team. Together, we make America work for everybody.
Paid for and approved by the Robert Quigley for President campaign.
Calvo Select Care's comprehensive medical provider network offers our members choice and access to quality facilities locally in Asia, Hawaii, and the continental United States. We provide our members several wellness programs and healthy options to improve their overall health status. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Are you ready to drive into the future? Introducing the all-new BMW i Family, Guam's only all-electric luxury vehicle. Be a part of the electrifying future with the all-new BMW i Family. Now available at Atkins Kroll.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. Only at KFC Guam. Whoops. Well, it is finger-licking good.
Zoom, zoom. 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Prime Time. Things have been shaking up in our region lately. A number of earthquakes striking the northernmost islands of the Marianas over the weekend.
And no reports of the quakes being felt for us here. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglonia speaks with National Weather Service meteorologist Landon Eidlid on what you need to know about it and how you can prepare for when it hits closer to home.
The northernmost islands in the Marianas recorded several earthquakes this past week.
Definitely, we've been watching a lot of seismic activity in the northern islands of the CNMI the last several days. And of course, this really started around November 19th. We had a 5.9 magnitude near the Pagan area. And then, of course, things escalated on the 24th with a preliminary magnitude of 6.9 magnitude earthquake near the Maug region. Since then, there's been a series of earthquakes 4.0 magnitude and larger around the Maug region.
He says it's not uncommon as the Marianas sits inside what's called the Ring of Fire, which surrounds the Pacific Ocean with hundreds of volcanoes.
This is not out of the question. This is not something to be unexpected in our region, but it's something that we have to keep in mind because where we have a peak season for typhoons, there is no earthquake season. And so when we see this swarm of earthquakes, we have to think about the response efforts in case there is a much larger one that would trigger a tsunami.
He says preparedness is critical.
Yeah, definitely preparedness is second nature to all of us in the islands. And so we are a storm-ready community across the CNMI. We are also a tsunami-ready community. Make sure you have the general preparedness actions taken as far as like having several days of food and water always available. We do this well when it comes to tropical cyclones threatening the region, but of course earthquakes can strike without warning.
Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
A lot of movement in the Marianas. Des, you know what to do in case of an earthquake?
Drop, cover, oh wait.
And hold on.
Okay, there we go.
Got it.
There we go. Remember, key things to remember definitely in those instances. All right. Well, one of the most heavily debated bills was officially signed into law recently by Governor Leon Guerrero. Consumer fireworks are now legal again.
However, interested retailers are currently unable to import and sell fireworks until the Guam Fire Department creates a revised set of regulations and fines. Jonah Gonçalves finds out more on the process with Fire Chief Joey Nicholas.
Signed by the governor on November 10th, Public Law 37-47 legalizes and regulates the use of consumer fireworks on island. However, don't expect to light up the Guam skies anytime soon, as residents will have to wait until the Guam Fire Department sets rules and regulations for the distribution and importation of the fireworks. GFD Fire Chief Joey Nicholas says it's something they take very seriously, considering they are the primary agency tasked with enforcing fees and fines.
It is tasked to our Fire Prevention Bureau, to my designated fire marshal, who is putting together a team and hopefully working with Senator Nicholas's office to produce the rules and regs. I will say that in large part, it is governed by the International Fire Code with 2009 edition, which is what we've adopted for Guam.
He says there are already rules and regulations stated in the IRC, and GFD just needs to create policies to make it appropriate for the island. They have already started the process, but St. Nicholas doesn't want to give a specific timeline for its completion, and with good reason.
This is something that we need to ensure that is researched and articulated as such so that there's no misunderstandings. Along with that is a very complicated process to ensure that the proper fees and fines are appropriate or that are applied for it.
These fees and fines will help with making sure the following.
Number one, to ensure that there's compliance to the safe handling and use of fireworks. And two, to ensure that there's some type of enforcement piece to it to make sure that people stay compliant. And then, finally, without creating economical obstacles for those would-be business opportunists that want to get into the sale of fireworks.
Once GFD completes the rules and regs, it will then go through an extensive review process with lawmakers, and St. Nicholas hopes to include the Attorney General of Guam. We should note that although Public Law 37-47 is law, it will not take effect until new legislation that would improve it is introduced, passed by the Guam legislature, and signed into Guam law.
Ultimately, the goal is to keep people safe, to keep our island safe. That's what it's really about. Although there's that opportunity for nefarious acts, and of course accidents will always happen, we just want to do our best to ensure that we set parameters in place so that the likelihood or the risk of unsafe acts is mitigated to the best of our ability.
Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
I like those little sparklers that you play with every time, it's the season for 4th of July.
Yep.
What New
are they
Year's.
Called? Sprinklers?
Sparklers?
Sparklers, sprinklers. We love them.
Yeah, I just don't know how those fireworks are going to pop off.
Oh, Papa.
Well, Cyber Monday is here. Experts say the busiest online shopping day of the year, expected to shatter records with more people shopping online than ever before.
But with brick and mortar sales off to a slow start, retailers may need to do a lot more to convince shoppers to click and buy. Here's Brian Chung.
For shoppers looking for deep discounts, the countdown is on. But ahead of the busiest online shopping day of the year, warning signs for retailers.
What am I do with 10%? Select items. I need the 100, the 90% off.
Coming out of COVID, shoppers were ready to spend. This year, early signs are they're ready to save, looking for even bigger deals.
If you just keep shopping, you might find, you'll find something, especially online.
MasterCard says this Black Friday, shoppers spent 2.5% more than last year, a bump erased by inflation. That means the stakes are high for retailers this Cyber Monday. They'll have to do more to woo consumers.
The consumer has a lot of power this year, especially. They're in the driver's seat.
Target is slashing prices up to 60% off. Walmart is advertising up to 80% off. And Amazon, which had a round of big deals in October, is rolling out deals every 5 minutes through tomorrow to keep consumers coming back throughout the day.
We're expecting the deepest discounts on the categories electronics and apparel. The deepest discounts will fall in the range of 25 to 30% for both categories.
And confidence that those packages will arrive on time. ShipMatrix says parcel carriers have more capacity to deliver than they need this season.
We broke up the country into 8 regions, where what this allows us to do is ship items to customers from within their region. So what that means is they get their items faster.
Paving the way to a seamless season of gift getting and gift giving from the comfort of your couch. Brian Chung, NBC News, New York.
Wow. Well, in other news, a veteran in Wisconsin had his long-lost medals returned after decades.
Lance Allen has details.
On a quiet street in Tosa,
I saw a lot of things that I didn't want to see.
Lives a quiet slice of American pride and history.
I would say that after a couple years, my box is never going to show up.
John Norgard's path to Vietnam starts with sports.
Atlanta Falcons and the Green Bay Packers and Racine Raiders, by the way.
For a pro tryout, he picked Atlanta over the Pack.
Being from North Dakota, Vince Lombardi wasn't a big deal.
Getting cut from the Falcons meant another call.
When Norm Van Brocklin called me in and said, "Swede, looks like we're going to have to cut you," And he asked me, well, what do you think you're going to do now? And I said, I think I'm probably going to Vietnam.
John became a medic in Vietnam for 13 months.
You go out and do your job.
After seeing the horrors of war, in the spring of '71, he packed up some memories, mailed them home, and headed out.
With some other things that I thought were necessary memories.
For 52 years, John waited and wondered what happened to his box, until one day.
And she texted us, said, Dad, I think I know who's got your box.
His daughter received an email from Peter Lundberg, who lived across Lake Michigan.
I started getting goosebumps.
For about a half century, it sat in Peter's basement.
Lance, as low-tech as we are, no, I wouldn't criticize. I wouldn't criticize anybody for that.
We're glad for that, too. That was wonderful.
Lundberg, the postal clerk for John's company, so neither 52 years or driving from Michigan or whatever could stop Norgard's mail from being delivered.
It was worth the 52-year wait.
So we asked John to reopen the box.
Okay.
And a flood of memories came back.
This camera, all of a sudden my brain decides to tell me, aha, there are some things that these are the awards that I knew I got. This is the Bronze Star with the V.
Yep.
And that's for valor, and then the Purple Heart. Okay. That was my second Bronze Star. I can't find words for feelings very easy. You know, being a Norwegian, you know, I just started hugging people about 10 years ago.
Well, the 2023 RCSA World Rimfire Championship was held in Woodsville, Alabama recently. It's a fast-paced steel target shooting event, seeing over 200 of the nation's top shooters going head-to-head, including 5 of Guam's own. Congratulations to Tony Villena, Luca Flores, Zayda Babauta, Taya Babauta, and Tamara Sablon. It's the second year Guam has participated in this event.
Wow, and Sportsland shooting range owner John Sablon tells us these athletes had fun and performed well, but could have practiced more if the range was not shut down. He says it's closure that took that opportunity away from them. The island's only outdoor shooting range has been closed now for nearly 3 months after their business license renewal application was denied. Sablon tells us he will continue to fight to reopen the range. Well, our friend Arlene Steffi talks with Jason about the latest episode in her YouTube series profiling traditional Chamorro fishing techniques, with the latest endeavor focusing on the Talaza.
Here's more.
And it's always very good to see you, and I am just pleased as punch to be able to talk to you about the latest episode of your series. It's on YouTube right now. It's also showing on the various channels of KUAM TV, about traditional fishing practices, where they came from, how they're being continued to this day, and how important that is to maintain the techniques and the metaphorical styles of our ancestors. So fantastic work as always, Art.
Thank you very much, Jason and Hafade.
And the title of your work, Ipescador Zan Ipesador, is very, very, very doable. And you're a lifelong journalist, and I'm not at all surprised, but still like wildly impressed how you would actually capture the sentiment of the piece in that.
Well, the reason I selected that, and it was a bit of a eyebrow raiser at the beginning, because all the Chamorros said Ipescador, Zan Ipesador. It's always been Ipescador or the pesador, meaning you fish or you sell, but never the fishing and the selling together. And so with the practice after the interviews that I collected, which by the way, I didn't set out to get fishing interviews, it was oral history collection. And from those oral history collections, I extracted all the fishing, because it started to come up with the men and some women, don't get me wrong, some women.
Absolutely. Some of the best fisher people I know are females, and they're very, very good.
Well, I tried it. It's not easy to throw in, but mine opened up in the first row. So anyway, the pesador is because of the justification of cost today. It didn't always cost so much. They used to weave nets a certain way, and now the materials cost a lot more for them to weave it today. So over time, the need to pakti is still very strong. And they do very well with that.
Sharing your bounty and sharing your harvest. So if you and I both go out fishing and you happen to catch 100 fish and I catch none, you're going to give me 50 just on principle.
Absolutely. It's togetherness, right?
Is there
And
anything more tomorrow than that? That's enough of Malik out on the water.
We don't want anyone to go home empty-handed.
Right.
Yeah, so the Pesadon part is, as this series continues in partition 3, partition 4, there's 6 partitions altogether. You will see how the subsistence practice, the pakti, becomes the sell, has to be sold. And we can't frown upon anyone who sells it because it's really just realistic to do so.
I mean, and, you know, when we've done interviews with, you know, our friends in the private sector too, and we say, you know, I mean, technically 2 different firms or entities may be competitors, but we're not trying to put each other out of business. You know, again, we believe in Inafa Malik here, and it's all about the good of the community.
Well, that's part of the tradition.
Right. And this episode, particularly you focused on the Talaza, something that, you know, everybody that's driven by, you know, Isigani Bay has seen, you know, these masters, you know, bringing in the nets, you know, casting the nets and everything. I mean, it is a very, very learned skill. But why did you choose the Talaza for this episode specifically?
It's because it's part of the methods of fishing. There are many methods. Talaza is one of them. It's net fishing. So we broke the net fishing up into 2 partitions because Talaza in and of itself is perhaps the most popular and the most practiced. And then
it's debatably also the most difficult.
Yeah, well, yeah. And Gadi and Tekken and Sunsulu are coming up soon, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's also net fishing.
Yeah, one of the many interviews, and this episode is just chock full of people with just such deep expertise and passion. And one of the people that you feature in the episode is my friend James Borja. And, you know, I mean, if there was anyone who has a resume of expertise about fishing, it would be James, you know, and master underwater fisherman. And he even says he operates the Talaza with respect, with humility, because it's a very complicated, can we call it an apparatus to manage? Or?
Method, yeah. Well, it's a very difficult method to practice.
And it's such captive viewing because, again, you know, the people you interview, you know, the wide range of topics that they cover, you know, with passion and with expertise. I mean, it's just so amazing. And you can actually watch it right now. It's on the Micronesian Publishing YouTube channel. The link's right here. Also on the various stations of KUAM.
We are thrilled beyond expectation that the reception that we've received from tradition. We know that Talaza's gonna knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
And that's only the beginning. So keep watching and we'll keep working because that's what we're here for.
All right, so I'm going to let you go, Ar, because I know you're already working on episode 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to like 17. Because she never stops working. So again, if you can book some time with Arlene, it is not time wasted. It's an amazing experience. So Ar,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Always. Masi.
Adios.
Well, Des, this next story can be described best in one word. Can you guess it?
Cowabunga?
No.
No.
It's my surfing. We'll get ready for food, music, and surf.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second annual Boogie Down happening on Saipan, set for December 9th and 10th. The event will also have its first female competitor, Kaya Rasa, surfing the waves.
We're really excited about this event. We have right now about 12 surfers from Saipan, including our defending champion, who we're really proud of. And we have also 2 people from Guam coming here to compete, so we're really excited about that. But yeah, it just took a lot of work and dedication and just really, you know, focus into getting this event put together.
It's a beautiful sport. And thank you to the sponsors and those guys who make this thing happen. Bodyboarding has been happening for quite a long time, but now it's getting organized, and thanks to these guys, it's bringing all the community together.
The event was created with the hopes of inspiring the next generation of surfers to expand the sport and enjoy the water.
Good luck to all the competitors out there.
Yeah. Well, ring, ring, ring on Saturday in the center court. He answered the call. Well, guys, in the center court of the Agana Shopping Center, Guam's 29th Annual Salvation Army Red Kettle Campaign kicked off with the ceremonious dropping of a donation into the kettle by the man who leads the Salvation Army for the Micronesia Islands, Major Eric Tamale. And And after welcoming remarks from Major Tamale, there was festive musical performances from Eric Borja and the U.S. Army Band.
100% of the funds collected from these red kettles located at the major shopping areas will be used towards the Salvation Army, such as the food pantry, housing assistance, and substance abuse programs. More than $20,000 was raised last year. Major Tamale's goal, $52 grand. Interested bell ringers can call them at 671-456-4750 to schedule a time when they can volunteer. Let's all help the community and be generous donors and volunteer this holiday season. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured off the Molesu shore.
This view plus more Chamorro music streaming now on Isla Digital Radio.
In 2022, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the award for World Car of the Year. So of course, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 just had to go out and win World Car of the Year for 2023. Because everyone knows how competitive sibling rivalries can be. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
Triple treat box, 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat, 5 breadsticks, and a pizza plus another pizza. Triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Ah, thanks, Taco Bell!
Hafaday, the Marines from Marine Corps Base Camp Laws would like to ask you to join us in supporting the Toys for Tots program. You can show your support by collecting new and unwrapped toys that will reach the hands of children in Guam and in the CNMI.
This holiday season, let's share the magic of giving. This will be the program's 14th year on Guam and the 7th year on Saipan.
Thanks to your support last year, over 11,000 toys were collected and more than 800 toys were sent to Rhoda and Tinian.
You may drop off your new unwrapped toys between now and December 8th to businesses serving as a drop-off location on Guam and Saipan. Government offices are also participating and will be accepting toys for our campaign.
We ask that when purchasing this year to please remember gifts for children between the ages of 10 to 17. Gift ideas can be found on our Facebook or Instagram by searching Marine Corps Base Camp Laws, or you can contact your local Chamber of Commerce. They can provide you with gift information.
The Toys for Tots program would not be possible without our community of partners and the generosity of donors like you. On behalf of the U.S. Marine Corps, we would like to thank the Armed Forces Committee, Guam, Rhoda, and Saipan Chambers of Commerce, and the KUAM Care Force. We thank you for coming together and sharing in the spirit of the season.
Si Diyos Maasi and Semper Fi.
Okay, I am still here on island, landlocked here on the island that I enjoy and love so very much. Landon is in a much different place right now in Thailand. And I gotta say, you know, envy's a sin, but dude, I'm super, super jealous because they got great food over there.
Yeah, they have great food and great views. And so this is my view from the hotel this morning. I and my colleagues just checked in yesterday here at the Amari Watergate Hotel in near Siam Square. And so it's just a beautiful view over here this morning to watch the sunrise come up. And so I'm also being joined by three from Hawaii. We're the United States representatives to the Typhoon Committee that'll be meeting in person all this coming week. The first time we've met in person since before the COVID pandemic, when we were all on Guam in November of 2019 at the Outrigger Resort Hotel.
Okay, I'm going to take two wild guesses here, just completely off the top of my head, completely off script. One, I'm assuming you're on the 30th floor?
25th. You're very close.
Okay, okay.
If this is Price is Right, you went over and you lost.
There you go. Well, $1, please. Okay. And maybe my fuzzy logic is a little bit hazy on this one too, but be careful what you do there with the windows open, because past history has shown that things at the Watergate, you know, don't go so well.
You know, I always keep the lights down low at night, so
there you go.
Hope that works.
Well, we know the only thing that you are doing is keeping an eye on the weather back here, you know, where you're from. So what have we got this week? Because man, it was hot this past weekend, and then it rained an insane amount last night.
Yeah, there's been it's really nothing big on the larger scale trends. We have Guam right over there. This is my makeshift satellite view from the internet, but we're watching just a lot of trade wind disturbances push through, and so at best we're going to see some light to moderate showers, maybe briefly heavy, but these things are moving right on by, so we're not looking at any kind of flood potential with such a system. But these things would just be more of a nuisance, just zipping on by. But more of the story is the winds across the region. So Guam, this is Palau right here, Yap, and then the Mariana Islands. If you notice the green, those are 15 to 20 knot sustained winds, and the yellows are 20 to 25 knots. And zooming farther to the east, we have this large belt of strong winds just all upstream of us in the western North Pacific, and that's all generating these wind waves and trade wind swell that'll be coming our way in the coming days. So wind is a big story. We have breezy conditions across the CNMI, 20 to 25 knot winds, where the Saipan airport has been reporting wind gusts up to 35, 36 miles per hour through the overnight hours. And so the winds are a little bit less of a story for Guam, but the stronger winds are Rota and northward, zipping on across there overnight and yesterday evening. And that's going to be the story through the week ahead. Now, keep in mind, we're coming up into the dry season. We might get another bout of tropical weather. We'll see if that happens. Right now, the long range trends does not support any kind of tropical weather, at least for the next week to 10 days. But when the winds surge across the region, those advisories also come up across the region, including a high risk of rip currents through Wednesday afternoon along east-facing reefs. So that could be extended depending on the ongoing trade wind swell and wind waves coming in from the east, but also a small craft advisory for frequent wind gusts or sustained winds of 22 knots over the next couple of days, as well as combined seas of 10 feet. So if you're not a seasoned mariner, best to stay on land. Do not go out in the water because
and that
it's
includes
be pretty
surfers too, because
rough.
you're definitely considered mariners when you head out and do anything on the water. So please, everybody, be safe.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
There it is. My dad went EV.
It's electric. Don't be shocked.
The guy who's eternally locked out of his email is going EV. Ooh, nice car.
Actually, it's an EV. Rhymes with Kev. Look, EVIP parking.
I get it. You think they don't charge fast enough or go far enough.
Up to 80% charge in 18 minutes. Range? Heck, we could go to Mexico.
Are you Kevin Bacon?
But EVs aren't going to stop being a thing. Look at the Ioniq 6.
Maca mushroom frap for Kevin.
So just make the leap already.
Okay, watch this. Blue or red? Blue light, red light. I can also make it play nature sounds if you want.
Let's just drive.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Zoom zoom! 'Tis the season for speed, and Docomo Pacific is putting prepaid customers in the fast lane. Starting November 3rd, 2023 to January 31st, 2024, every $5 prepaid card purchase from a participating store gives Docomo Pacific customers a chance to win a brand new Mazda 3. So load up at participating stores and drop off your entry to any Docomo Pacific retail store. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply. Visit DocomoPacific.com for details.
Hafaday, the Marines from Marine Corps Base Camp Laws would like to ask you to join us in supporting the Toys for Tots program. You can show your support by collecting new and unwrapped toys that will reach the hands of children in Guam and in the CNMI.
This holiday season, let's share the magic of giving. This will be the program's 14th year on Guam and the 7th year on Saipan.
Thanks to your support last year, over 11,000 toys were collected, and more than 800 toys were sent to Rhoda and Tinian.
You may drop off your new unwrapped toys between now and December 8th to businesses serving as a drop-off location on Guam and Saipan. Government offices are also participating and will be accepting toys for our campaign.
We ask that when purchasing this year to please remember gifts for children between the ages of 10 to 17. Gift ideas can be found on our Facebook or Instagram by searching Marine Corps Base Camp Laws, or you can contact your local Chamber of Commerce. They can provide you with gift information.
The Toys for Tots program would not be possible without our community of partners and the generosity of donors like you. On behalf of the U.S. Marine Corps, we would like to thank the Armed Forces Committee, Guam, Rhoda, and Saipan Chambers of Commerce, and the KUAM Care Force. We thank you for coming together and sharing in the spirit of the season.
Si Dios Masi
and Semper Fi.
Get ready for a jolly time. Breakfast with Santa. Put on your coziest pajamas and join us on Saturday, December 2nd from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at Capital Kitchen on Airport Road. It's a magical place morning for families. Kids aged 5 to 11 is $20 and adult is $40. Secure your tickets in advance. Call the Manetlu office at 671-789-1265 or visit Mighty Purple. You could also secure your tickets online at manetlu.org. Don't miss this enchanting holiday event. It will be a magical morning for families.
Oh, thanks, guys. You know what I'm doing right now? Sprinkles of kindness. At least I'm trying to copy what Cold Stone Creamery is doing because they have this amazing program. Download this flyer at our website, KUAM.com, and if you bring us into any Cold Stone Creamery until December 1st, your sweet tooth will benefit the mission to improve the quality of life for Guam's youth and families facing adversities. Really easy to do, really, really sweet treats for you. Take care of some of your Christmas shopping at the second annual Bazaar, and that is sponsored by Teton High's senior class. It's on the 2nd from 11 to 5 at Teton High School's Throne. Love that. We've been telling you about this, and it's awesome. Crafts, clothing, ornaments, and more. And a flea market is happening up in Rhoda, so make sure to head up there, or if you're in one of the other islands, head over because it's happening from 7 to noon on December 2nd. Back to you guys with the rest of the news.
Thanks, Jace. It's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Okay, Alexis Elizabeth Arceo on this Monday, November the 27th. Happy birthday to you, and your shout out says, by the way, in all caps, and that means it's for real and sent with love. May you have the most happiest birthday. We love you more than you'll ever know. God bless you always, Alexis. Love, a very, very proud and pleased mommy and daddy. So Alexis, happy birthday from all of us at Cold Stone Creamery and KUAM.
Happy birthday to everyone celebrating out there. Des, Cyber Monday, were you hitting up the shops for some deals?
I'm planning to, hopefully.